I just spent the last 45 minutes chatting to a beautiful family who want to start their baby on solids and they're considering a vegetarian diet for their baby. And they were both vegetarian, but they were feeling a little bit of pressure from their extended families about starting their little one on a vegetarian diet because they were commenting saying that they're not going to get the nutrition that they need. And so these parents were doing the right thing. They were seeking professional advice to find out if it really was true. So I reassured them certainly that they can introduce solids to their baby with a vegetarian diet. We just need to do it the right way. We need to make sure that Bubs is getting adequate protein from vegetarian sources. They were going to include eggs and maybe milk. Having said that, there are plenty of milk substitutes that will provide good nutrition on a vegetarian diet. But certainly it can be done as long as we're combining a good mix of proteins that provide the nutrients that are at risk, such as iron and zinc and also B12. And with iron and zinc, we talked a lot about making sure that they combine these iron and zinc rich vegetarian sources with vitamin C rich foods, because vitamin C significantly increases the absorption of iron and zinc in vegetarian foods. So foods such as legumes and nuts and seeds. And we also talked about good fats and making sure that we use flaxseed oil and avocado to make sure that we are giving little one good fats as well. We also talked about basic introducing solids information, which, is not basic. It's really important to do it right to reduce the risk of developing a fussy eater, so that the little Bubs grows up to eat a wide variety of foods, because there's some good literature to support giving the little one a wide variety of food when they're a baby, to make sure they're eating a wide variety of food as they grow up. So babies that are given lots of different foods to explore, to learn about, to learn and develop a trust in. If they're given this good variety when they're babies, and they're not just given sort of the same set foods, then they're going to have a much greater variety of foods that they accept when they're 5, 6, 7, and 8, and onwards from there. So we need to make sure that we are giving our babies a variety of solids. And I also talked to them about the fact that often we give up after they refuse something a couple of times, and this is supported in the research, but it's really important to make sure that we keep offering them these new foods. We know that it's up to 15 times a baby needs to be exposed to a food. They need to explore it with all their senses. They need to touch it, they need to taste it, they need to smell it, they need to see it. They need to learn and develop a trust in this food over time. And our, part of the food journey with that particular food is very different to where they're at, because they've probably never seen this food before or seen it very few times, whereas we've had plenty of food experiences with this particular food, say broccoli. We know it's safe to eat, we know it's good for us, so we get frustrated if they don't want it, but they're at a very different part of the journey with that food. So we need to remember that we've just got to keep offering little ones a good variety of food, because that means that they're going to accept these foods when they're older and hopefully be less fussy. So we talked about that. We talked about positioning in the high to making sure their feet are supported. We talked about how as the solids increases, the breastfeeds will reduce. But to start with, solids are just introduced as a snack rather than as the main meal. We talked about the fact that you can offer a bit of cooled boiled water, but it's not essential to start with. We talked about all different things, and actually all of these are in my Introducing Solids webinar, which you can find on my website, smartbite.com.au/shop. It's under the shop tab, but I think it's actually products and courses. I need to change that, but it's on my website in the shop section. You can find that webinar, and it goes through all the detail about the latest information about starting solids. So it's about the iron rich foods, it's about vitamin D. I talk about gut health. I cover an hour's worth of goodness in that for anyone who is wanting to start solids and do it the right way. Also talk about allergenic foods. So we talk about how we introduce peanuts and eggs and whatnot, and I certainly talk to this beautiful mum and dad about that too. So lots of ground covered. They were really, really thankful. They felt much more confident that they could go back to their family now and say, we're going to do this and we can do it the right way, and their little one is going to be nourished and they're not going to be compromised nutritionally. They're going to be super healthy because now they know what to do. So it was a great session. And yeah, if there's any other little if there's any other parents out there that are thinking about raising their children vegetarian or vegan, because I have seen some of those too, then please reach out to me. I'd love to help. See ya.